Joining us now to discuss this more, our political analyst Brian Sobel and University of San Francisco professor James Taylor. Brian, let me start with you. Sanders came out in no uncertain terms tonight and said, I support Hillary Clinton. But during the campaign, he had some very critical things to say about Hillary Clinton and seriously questioned her judgment on several key issues. So what are Sanders supporters to make of this?
Well, I think the Sanders supporters who realize the politics of the thing understand he was saying that during the campaign, but now they have to coalesce around Hillary Clinton as she moves forward to take on Donald Trump. So there's going to be a number of Sanders supporters who aren't ever going to get on board, but most, I think, over time will coalesce around Hillary Clinton.
And I would say to Gavin Newsom, ask that question to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's a casualty of how serious this is and how divided the party was this morning. But obviously in the middle of the day, Brian and I were talking, something happened there. I don't know who or what, but the entire spirit of that convention changed by the time we got to the evening speeches. By the time Bernie got up, the entire mood was different. And I don't know who did that.
But once again, doesn't this raise the question about trustworthiness with Hillary Clinton? Because we were talking about this earlier. Last night on the 60 Minutes interview, she said she didn't know what the DNC was doing. How could she not know?
She did know on some level. She may not have seen all those emails, but you know, when you're that close to things, people are talking to you. She knew that the DNC apparatus was supporting her candidacy over Bernie Sanders, and make no mistake about that. I think there's no doubt.
James, doesn't this just make her look again like
it does?
You just can't come out and say, okay, I admit it, I knew.
And that's a real problem for Hillary, and that's the difference in what you saw today in people's responses to Michelle Obama. People were crying. People felt emotions. Hillary Clinton has not struck that chord with anyone yet, even though she has the capacity. She's never really been able to tap into that. When she did in 08, obviously it turned the entire campaign for her. When she showed a little bit of emotion, it changed the narrative for her in 08. And I think she has to speak on Thursday night in a way that pricks people's hearts. She can't talk to their heads. She can't talk to their politics. She can't be a Democrat. She's got to be like Michelle Obama, authentically woman, in charge and clear about what is best for this country. And that's what we need today.
And that's what plays into Donald Trump. He says that the system is rigged. Does he have a point with this?
Well, to some extent, yes. I mean, on the subject of do political parties pick favorites? Yes. And I'm sure that Donald Trump, there are emails floating around about, hey, this Trump guy is a real problem. How do we deal with him? That's what happens in these things. Where it falls down is when people don't acknowledge it. They don't tell the truth about it and say, yeah, well, you know, I kind of knew that was going on.
But if you're a Sanders supporter and you've donated and you've spent time, you know, following him and supporting him, these people are really angry. Do you think at the end of the day there are just some people like the millennials, the younger vote, who just will stay home on election day?
Well, there's a percentage who will just think, hey, this is why I got involved with Bernie, because he was going to change things. Obviously, that didn't work. I'm walking away. But most of them.
Yeah. No, in a normal election, I would say that people would just de-align or withdraw themselves from Hillary Clinton in this particular instance. But with Donald Trump as the alternative, people will figure out and find a way to express themselves, and I think to express what the Democrats are trying to sell tonight in terms of a more open and receptive convention.
But one thing I was going to add is before the night closes on all the activities, I think we saw one of the great convention speeches out of Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah.
It was well constructed. It was beautifully delivered.
Let's hope Melania doesn't copy it next time around.
There you go. She definitely has a high
She'll be plagiarizing it in 2020.
Touche. Professor Brian, thank you both. We'll be talking to you all week.
Yeah, absolutely.